And my name is Karen Ball, and I am the broker owner of Pronoeo Insurance Agency, a health insurance brokerage. Today, I would like to talk to you about the importance of travel medical insurance. Now that we have vaccines and treatment for the COVID-19 virus, more people are beginning to get back to traveling. As we approach the spring and summer season, more and more of us will be moving about the planet for a number of reasons. So why do people travel? Most of us travel for pleasure, to take a break from our ordinary routines and get some rest and relaxation. But now that things are opening up, many businesses are getting back to traveling for work-related reasons. And what about our students? I know my Rotary Club, they are reinstating their exchange student program this year, as are many other organizations. Of course, religious organizations and nonprofits still continue to do missionary and humanitarian outreaches. And let's not forget those who travel to compete in a variety of events. We just finished the Winter Olympics, but there are sports teams and music groups that will be traveling to participate in competitions and performances all over the world. I can hear the voices now saying, but I have my regular insurance, so I should be fine. If you have insurance through Cover California or directly with an insurance company, or if you have a Medicare Advantage plan, if you're older, you are not covered outside of your region. California is divided up into 19 different regions for rating purposes. We're located in Region 2, which is those 4 counties in purple just north of San Francisco. If you have any sort of an individual plan, which is a plan that is not through an employer, then you are covered within those 4 counties and no further. You do have some emergency medical coverage beyond your region, but only within the United States. There is no coverage as soon as you leave American soil. So what type of expenses might you incur while traveling? Any emergency will most likely end up with you taking a ride in an ambulance and paying a visit to a hospital. Whether it is just an emergency room visit or a hospital admission, you could have hospital expenses. If your emergency is more serious, you may require surgery in the location you're visiting. Even though you've been treated by the medical community where you are, you may need special care to get back to the United States. That is going to require a medical evacuation. Maybe you have something minor going on and you just need to see a doctor in their office. How do you know who to go see? The doctor may prescribe medication for your condition. That is another expense you could have with no insurance to cover the cost. Remember, even countries with free medical will seek reimbursement from a foreigner. And if your insurance company agrees to cover some aspect of your coverage, it will most likely be on a pay and claim basis. You will have to front the cost of your care and submit a claim for reimbursement that they may or may not cover. So, what's the credit limit on your credit card? What are some of the advantages to having travel medical insurance? Well, first of all, it gives you access to quality doctors and facilities without you having to research and vet them for yourself. They give you access to doctors who can speak to you in your language. They can translate and explain medical terms and help you understand what is going on during your care. They are your advocate. They can monitor your situation, oversee your care, and help coordinate next steps to make sure you get the treatment and care that you need. They also can coordinate getting you back home to your local doctors should you need continued care. They will also arrange direct pay to your providers so you don't have to front the money to get taken care of. No running up your credit card or draining your bank account. The insurance pays the doctors and facilities directly. So let's look at some case studies. For the first one, we will travel to France. Here, our traveler was out taking photos and making memories when she misstepped and fell while taking a photo. She ended up breaking her leg when she fell. Well, she was taken by ambulance to the local hospital where she ended up having surgery with rod replacement for a fractured femur. This required a 5-day stay in a hospital before she was cleared to go home. Her travel medical insurance screened and approved the appropriate level of care for her. They arranged direct billing to cover the hospital expenses, and they monitored her condition while she was in the hospital. Once she was cleared to fly, the insurance company arranged travel back to the US for her and her spouse to include upgraded seating for better comfort, as well as wheelchair assistance to and from the airports. Her total expenses for medical treatment in France and travel arrangements came to $24,100. Her out-of-pocket expense was the premium of $349 for the insurance. For our second case study, we'll travel to Bangladesh. Here, our traveler started feeling disoriented, was having respiratory distress, and ultimately seizures. He was rushed to the cardiac unit of the local hospital. His travel medical advocate saw that he was going to need a higher level of care and had him transferred to a facility in Bangkok, where he was diagnosed with encephalitis, which is inflammation of the brain. Here, he was monitored by his advocate while spending several weeks in the ICU unit in Bangkok. As he was going to need continued care, his advocate arranged for air ambulance back to the US with full medical support. They also ensured his transfer of care to the receiving facility in the US. Our traveler was in no condition to make these arrangements on his own, but his insurance advocate was there to help him. The cost for his medical expenses and air ambulance to the US were $178,000. His plan premium, $210. Our last case study is from Cambodia. Our traveler was having a lovely time in Cambodia. There were quite a few bugs, not a huge issue, except that one of her bug bites was not healing as it should. She went to a local pharmacy and was told that she should be on antibiotics. However, she was allergic to penicillin, so she treated the bug bite with doxycycline and iodine and continued to take her anti-malaria medication. The bug bite got worse. She contacted her travel medical insurance advocate and was put in touch with an English-speaking doctor who advised her to go back to the pharmacy and get either clarithromycin or erythromycin, 2 non-penicillin-based antibiotics. He also advised her to mark the size of the bite and monitor it for 24 hours. If it got worse, she was to go to the emergency room. She was able to follow up with that doctor via telemedicine. Her condition improved and she finished her travel. Her travel medical insurance was able to provide a more reliable and sufficient level of care than what was available locally. And she had an English-speaking doctor. So what do we conclude from this? Travel medical insurance can provide and cover what your regular insurance doesn't. There are plans for traveling domestically or internationally, short-term or long-term, single trip or multiple trips. More long-term plans can even be purchased to cover preventive care, acupuncture, chiropractic care, or maternity care. It's important to note that travel medical does not waive the mandate for medical essential coverage that is required by the Affordable Care Act. Sometimes getting home can be more complicated than you anticipate when you're sick or injured. Travel medical makes sure you get home in a safe manner using reliable, vetted doctors, facilities, and providers. It can save you thousands of dollars should you need medical services in another country or just away from home. It can give you the peace of mind knowing that you won't get caught in some other country's bureaucratic medical paperwork or be subject to inadequate care or facilities. You also won't go into medical debt for something that happened away from home. So who do you know that will be traveling this year? That's a great referral for me. think you